Another week, boys, and another massive blog post from Bungie, this one being Season 21 Exotic Armor Tuning Preview. Alright fellas, this one is it. In Season 21, we will be rolling out the first wave of changes to exotic armor intended to rebalance and reimagine many armor pieces at both ends of the usage spectrum. Now, we've been hearing the feedback that such changes are highly desired, but the complete overhaul of the armor mod system and the introduction of an entirely new damage type and lightfall necessitated delaying these changes to Season 21 so the dust could settle a bit. There were two primary goals we've settled on for this balance pass. First, identify underused armor pieces and revamp them to increase their appeal. Second, tune down outlier armor pieces that are probably too powerful. Alright, so we're gonna get some nerfs here. On top of that, we wanted to curb a few instances of damage stacking that circumvented the expectations introduced in Lightfall, partially to bring damage into an expected range, but also to alleviate the pressure to use certain combinations of exotics and mods to reach optimal damage output. In these cases, we hope that this reduces the desire to run surge mods on your leg armor, allowing your exotic to cover the ground and freeing you up to use other mods in those sockets. With those goals in mind, here are the changes that we're making. Please note that unless otherwise specified, the following changes leave the rest of the exotics benefit intact. Starting with Hunters. Sealed Ahamkara Grasp. This exotic will now reload the magazine of all your weapons when you defeat a target with your powered melee. And for 5 seconds after dealing melee damage, you gain increased movement speed and jump height. Interesting. So essentially like Stompies, right? And instead of just reloading your currently equipped weapon, which is what Ahamkara's Grasp does currently, it will now reload all your weapons. Beautiful. Now, Arthur's Embrace. Gain additional strength while the exotic's weighted knife damage bonus is active. So again, guys, the current exotic perk Skittering Stinger states that weighted knife gains a second bounce and rapid precision hits with your weapons grant weighted knife a significant damage bonus. So again, during that duration, you will gain additional strength, which means more uptime for those knives, if I'm understanding that correctly. Oathkeeper. When fully drawn, bows gain a bonus to damage against combatants that increases as you hold the draw, but deactivates after a few seconds. Wow. So there's gonna be a sweet spot here. And look, we got some commentary. Dev commentary, the original redesign allowed you to retain the damage bonus as long as you held the bow at full draw, which can be done indefinitely thanks to the existing exotic functionality. However, this resulted in some overly passive playstyles, where players felt like the optimal way to play was to move slowly at full draw or hide behind cover indefinitely before popping out a shoot. With a limited window on the damage bonus, bows still benefit from a significant bump in damage from holding the draw time for a short time without bogging down the playing experience. So this is really interesting. It's like box breathing, but for your bow. And again, something a lot of people don't know about Oathkeepers is it actually speeds up the draw speed of your bow. No, it's not significant, but it is still slightly faster. The question is how long do you have to actually hold this to proc that damage bonus? And of course, when we start talking about bows like Leviathan's Breath that is doing so much damage right now, my God, can you imagine Le Monarch after these changes go live? Are you guys raging yet? Raiju's Harness. Wow, we just talked about this. When deactivating your Arc Staff Super, you create a blinding explosion that temporarily increases your arc weapon damage. However, blocking with Whirlwind Guard will no longer consume energy more slowly. Oh, all right, so it's a big nerf on that front. However, you're gonna be rewarded for deactivating, which is pretty much what Mobius Conduit is all about, minus the guarding no longer consuming extra super energy. I'm curious to know what that buff is. Are we talking like the 10% from Bakris? Are we talking more? How long does it last? And if it is significant, guys, understand instantly deactivating Raiju's Harness gives you 62.5% of your super energy right back. If you can imagine like popping it, deactivating it, and then swapping the Grand Overture fully loaded with all 20 rounds in that volley, the damage could be insane. Now, Radiant Dance Machines. Kills while your free dodge is active extends the duration of free dodging. No longer deactivates when you get too far away from enemies and deactivates after using Suspending Slam. Oh, okay. Now we got some commentary here. Adding the time extension on kills allows us to pair extremely well with Marksman Dodge, the Reaper Armor mod, and the new powerful Attraction mod that allows you to collect orbs of power at a distance. Actually though, that's going to be really nice. Again, next season, you're going to actually be able to run up into a group of orbs, pop your class ability, and it picks up all the orbs around you. And you can imagine how beneficial that's going to be. Now, during playtesting, players could have free dodges for long stretches, pulling down a large number of orbs. However, allowing it to continue granting free Suspending Slams made it a little too easy to create an infinite orb generating machine machine without ever having to risk your own survival. All right, so Radiant Dance Machines at one time was busted. You could get your super back so fast, we would even pop it inside of Gambit before the game even began, and we would have a super right from the get. But activating your dodge ability while nearby targets allows you to dodge additional times for a short period, but you had to be within 15 meters of an enemy. But if you were, you could dodge unlimited amount of times, at least within 6 seconds, which pretty much equated to 6 dodges. Now though, you will not have to be within 15 meters, but you do have to get kills in order to extend the duration of free dodging. All right, the dance is back on, baby. Now stompies. Remove airborne effectiveness penalties. You only gain increased speed, slide distance, and improved jumping while your dodge energy is full. Oh my. So dev commentary here. We want stompies to have a strong fantasy, but permanent uptime for potent movement benefits that makes targeting hunters in PvP very difficult on controller ends up making it too automatic of a choice. Even with the prior airborne effectiveness changes, we're undoing that change, but tackling the uptime to try and make it so that you can use it to ambush or escape from engagement, but not both. Now, though I like this change, at this point, I'm just wondering why AE even exists, right? The fact that it's been walked back so many times, and understand the intention of adding airborne effectiveness into the game was to target movement exotics, most notably stompies. So to see that this is actually being reverted, I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad Bungie's looking at this. Stompies is definitely back on the menu. And for my hunters that are like, no, Cross, I'm not gonna get all those benefits if I use my dodge. For the love of God, your dodge comes back so fast, you're rocking high mobility anyways, you hobbity bastard. You'll be just fine. But I will say that -50 AE that it originally gave, no lie, that was terrible. So yes, I am glad that Bungie's making that change. Now, Mask of Bakris. We have changed to use a tier 4 non-stacking weapon damage bonus, which behaves the same as the non-stacking damage bonus provided by Surge mods. The damage bonus increased in PvE from 10% to 25% and now grants a 6% bonus to weapon damage in PvP. No longer stacks with Surge leg armor mods, but provides a large bonus that can be achieved with 3 such mods equipped. So, Mask of Bakris, one of the best exotics for you if you're rocking arc-based weapons. It comes with the perk Life Shift. It replaces your stasis subclass dodge ability with that shift ability. Your arc weapons deal increased damage to combatants for a short time afterwards, approximately a 10% buff. However, when you stack the light shift 10% buff for your arc weapons, on top of the increased damage to slow and frozen combatants, which was another 10%, you're really starting to stack the damage up very nicely. Overall though, this is a major buff inside of PvP. No, it won't stack with Surge, but it's a free 25% buff. My question is, will it behave the same way? Will I have to apply slow in order to reach that 25%, or is it simply the light shift? Somebody let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm trying to wrap my head completely around this change here to Mask. Like for the longest time, I'm so used to applying slow, doing my light shift, and then doing damage. Are we gonna have to continue doing that same loop? Or will it just be light shift, boom, you have 25% more damage, which by the way, is still more damage than that of 3 Surge mods. I'm pretty sure 3 Surge mods is 22%. So all around, this is looking juice. Now Titan, point contact can embrace. Oh my God, is this really happening right now? Bungie, are you really actually buffing this? Lightning strikes now jolts targets. Increase PV damage per lightning bolts from 50 to 200, and being amplified now increases the damage of lightning strikes by 50% instead of extending their range. Mother of God, point contact brace is about to be disgusting. Now keep in mind guys, this exotic comes with Hammer of the Gods, where defeating targets with your Thunderclap melee restores melee energy, and targets near you when you use your Thunderclap suffers lightning strikes, and being amplified would just extend the range of these lightning strikes. Bungie has done away with that. You're still gonna have the refund capabilities, but now it's gonna jolt. And then they're increasing the PvE damage per lightning bolt. And then being amplified will increase the lightning strike damage by 50%. Oh! Listen, I know we just had shoulder charge completely destroyed, but at least Bungie is amplifying some of our other melees. Now, no backup plans. This is a complete rework, replacing the old functionality entirely. Now provides a moderate benefit to the airborne effectiveness and reload speed of shotguns. Now, while you have Void Overshield, shotguns deal additional damage, and shotgun final blows refreshes your overshield. Now, while using a Void subclass, rapid shotgun final blows or defeating a powerful enemy with a shotgun grants you a a Void Overshield and kicks off your health regeneration. Holy hell. Oh, that's gonna be so disgusting. Guys, no backup plans right now. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool exotic, but it requires you to have full Void melee energy and then land a shotgun final blow to grant yourself that Void Overshield, and then that would consume your melee energy. If you can imagine this rework, you're gonna pop your barricade utilizing Bastion. You're gonna grant yourself an Overshield before the engagement even begins. Your shotgun will now deal additional damage. Then you'll proceed to rush in there, land kills, refresh that Overshield in the process, and if you happen to not have time to pop your barricade or give yourself an Overshield in some sort of way, rapid shotgun final blows, or even defeating a powerful enemy will grant you that Void Overshield and kick off health regeneration. Nothing here says anything about consuming your melee. Dude, depending on the damage buff here to shotguns, can you imagine? Like, this could potentially extend the kill range of things like Chaperone. Not only that, the survivability with that Overshield, you can literally go into engagements flat-footed with Chaperone, going for the precision shot, and then re-procking that Overshield. I don't know if you can tell from my voice right now, but these are meta-defining changes. Now, second chance. The shield throw melee now weakens enemies. Stunning a barrier champion with your shield throw grants a single full melee charge. Dude, we just talked about this. Holy hell, guys. Second chance, no lie, it's good. You gain a second charge of your shield throw melee, and it can pierce barrier champions. Now that you can instantly refresh a melee charge after stunning a barrier champion, that's back-to-back stunts. And you're gonna apply weaken. Huge! Now Stronghold. No, Bungie. Don't give me hope right now. Don't even try to sell me on this exotic. Replace the healing from blocking shots precisely with a significant damage reduction. 50% in PvE and 10% in PvP while blocking with a sword. Now, when you stop blocking, you gain restoration ×2. Interesting. With a duration that increases based on the number of shots that you blocked. Now, dev commentary here. The original heal on Perfect Guard mechanic was swapped out for damage reduction to improve ease of use. The previous version of Perfect Guard incentivized rapid blocking and release of the block to be most effective, which was unintuitive for most players and inaccessible to some. The change in damage reduction while blocking and restoration after you stop blocking allows you to close to melee range even against powerful enemies and then stay alive while delivering attacks thanks to restoration. Conveniently, this also pairs very well with a certain exotic sword such as Lament. That means the healing capabilities will stack there, fellas. Now, does this mean swords are back? Hold up now. I wouldn't go that far. Trust me, I missed Season of the Yacht. But Strongholds here were too hard to proc, guys. They required you to land that block and release, and it was annoying. On top of that, all you did was give yourself some more health back. So damage resist is so much better, especially in PvE and GM content where everything can pretty much stomp you to death. Now, Eternal Warrior. Rapid takedowns with an arc weapon grants an escalating bonus to arc weapon damage, using the same non-stacking damage bonuses used by Surge mods. Now, this can go all the way up to the tier 4 damage bonus, granting a damage bonus of 25% in PvE and a 6% bonus in PvP, providing a larger bonus than what can be achieved with 3 Surge mods. So again, similar to Bakris, guys, we're seeing it here. And now this is giving me a little more clarification. While at the tier 4 damage bonus, arc kills refreshes the bonus's duration, and after your Fist of Havoc super ends, you gain the tier 4 damage bonus. All right, a lot to take in. What does Eternal Warrior do now? It simply gives you an overshield when activating Fist of Havoc. With this change though, you're gonna still get that benefit, but you're also gonna get the benefits of amplifying your arc weapon damage. So before you even get to your super, you're gaining benefits all the way up to that 25% damage bonus. And then popping your super will still give you that overshield, but then coming out of it, you still gain that tier 4 damage bonus, which will be that 25%. That's huge. Now, Khepri's Horn. The solar damage wave now scorches targets. All right, before we jump up and say it's meta, keep in mind, we don't know how much Scorch is being applied here. I would be very surprised if Bungie gave us a free ignition from a single barricade pop there with Solar Rampart. Again, there's this flare of solar energy that is released when popping your barricade. Yes, you can combine it with your Strand Titan and Drinker's Lash. And yes, that will give you the one-hit kill. My question is how much Scorch? For the love of God, if you can actually turn around and get ignitions from a single barricade pop, mother of God. Path of Burning Steps. Change to use the non-stacking weapon damage bonus used by Surge mods. Now this can go all the way up to tier 4 damage bonus, granting a damage bonus of 25% in PvE and 6% in PvP, providing a larger bonus than what can be achieved with 3 Surge mods equipped. While at the tier 4 damage bonus, Solar Kills refreshes the bonus's duration, and becoming a case immediately grants you tier 4 damage bonus. Now we have made a lot of builds with Path of Burning Steps, especially with the likes like Polaris Lance after its rework, but it comes with the perk Firewalker. And Firewalker Dawnwalker essentially gives you an escalating bonus to weapon damage as you land solar final blows. Now this bonus is really nice. In PvE, like 1 stack is 20%, 2 stacks is 25%, 3 is 35%, 4 stacks is 40%. Now those stacks are definitely lower inside of PvP, but not by much. The point is, this is a nerf, because not only is it not going to stack with surge mods, but it's only going to give you up to a 25% buff in PvE. So keep that in mind, guys. I know, becoming encased by stasis immediately gives you that 25% buff, and don't get me wrong, it sounds nice, and I like the breakout damage that you get with Path of Burning Steps when dealing with users that are rocking stasis, but again, that does require you to go up against someone using stasis. Now, if we happen to be playing some content in the game where a lot of our enemies are using stasis, then yes, there's some benefits here. But from what I'm seeing here, guys, this is a nerf. Now, Dunemarchers. Reduce the range of the chain damage from 20 meters to 12 meters, and the PvP damage has been reduced from 85 to 50. Now, depth commentary here, this exotic sees a lot of use in PvP and not much in PvE, and these changes embrace that. The range on the damage chain made it very easy to get killed by this exotic without ever seeing the person killing you in PvP. So we reduced that range and tuned down the damage. That's an interesting commentary, right? They say the exotic sees a lot of use in PvP and not much in PvE, and these changes embrace that. Okay. Well, the range nerf seems like it's going to be applicable in both PvE and inside of PvP, and I don't really see anything here that's amplifying its lethality in PvE, just simply nerfing it. Y'all let me know what you think. Now, moving on to Warlocks. Vesper of Radius, your ribs emit an arc shock wave every 5 seconds that deals damage 200 in PvE and 70 inside of PvP. Wow. All right, so you're gonna get what, 4 shockwaves? Now, enemies defeated by these shockwaves explode for an additional 100 damage. And if you have an arc subclass equipped, it also blinds nearby enemies. Fellas, this is substantially better than what it does now. Again, Vesper simply releases an initial arc shockwave when you cast your rifts, and that's it. Your rift energy recharges faster when you're surrounded by enemies. That's still going to be applicable. But y'all remember way back when, I think it was Beyond Light, we saw our Guardian with Vesper of Radius literally clearing an entire room. And then Beyond Light came out and was like, where did that change go? Why is Vesper of Radius still terrible? This change is going to be significant though, for both PvE and for PvP. Like 70 damage inside of PvP, that's nasty. Like run up to a control point, pop your rift, it's doing 70 damage 4 times. That's enough to kill a Guardian. And on top of that, if you're rocking arc, you're blinding the poor bastards. Now, as nasty as that sounds, I'm actually more excited to rock this on stasis. Dude, Frost Pulse, cast your rift, freeze the target, and then proceed to hit them with these waves of damage. Oh, and yes, you got a melee buff coming next season. Look, I'm not a Warlock main, but that sounds beautiful. Now, Chromatic Fire increases the radius and damage of the explosion created by precision kinetic takedowns. Now, the explosion also applies a status effect to targets, depending on which subclass you have equipped. So, Blind for Arc, Scorch for Solar, Slow for Stasis, Sever for Strand, and Weaken for Void. Mother of God, Chromatic Fire is about to be disgusting. No lie, the other day we were actually using Chromatic Fire with Forerunner, and I was very much impressed with its performance. Now we're going to start applying all of these status effects, and keep in mind, we're not even talking about the synergy with those fragments of those subclasses that you're rocking. And kinetic weapons do more damage inside of PvE. That's going to be beautiful. Now, Dawn Course. Daybreak's projectiles damage bonus has been increased and no longer is reliant on the enemy being scorched. Fellas, I stand corrected. You see, I said that Dawn Course and Dawnblade in general would never come back to what it once was pre 3.0. But Rise of Ember states that your Daybreak projectiles causes targets to scorch on contact, and your scorch effects deal more damage. And you also get some benefits there for your melee, but the main point was the damage. The damage with your super. Now, Daybreak projectiles damage bonus will be increased without even applying scorch. Depending on that buff, we may be back to like that bottom tree Daybreak meta. And I know some of you are like, Cross, I didn't even use bottom tree Daybreak. You missed out, man. I'm just saying. Now, Sanguine Alchemy. Standing in a rift grants a non-stacking bonus to weapon damage matching your subclass damage type. Now, this damage bonus is the equivalent of 2 Surge leg mods, 17% in PvE and 4.5% inside of PvP. Now, keep in mind here, guys, standing in a rift, it doesn't say what type of rift. Now, when we look at Sanguine right now, it comes with the perk Blood and Magic, where weapon kills while standing in any rift pauses the rift countdown, extending its duration, and further kills maintain and extend the length of this pause. Now, it's like 5 seconds per kill, but the main takeaway is this. You'll be able to stand in an empowering rift, which, if I'm understanding this correctly, will stack with Sanguine's damage buff. You understand where I'm coming from, guys? I'm talking nasty damage. Now, Claws of Ahamkara, Power melee kills creates an orb of power, and when heavy-handed mods are equipped, it increases the potency of the orb spawn. No more than one orb can be spawned per enemy takedown. Fellas, our Colonel Mustang build just got a hell of a lot nastier. We are going to be making a follow-up video as soon as we can on all the upcoming disgusting builds. Now, some dev commentary here. This exotic uses the same perk as heavy-handed and stacks with the mod should you choose to equip it, which you can. I mean, it is more potency to that orb, meaning you're getting more super energy, more benefits, but again, only one orb. I wouldn't even recommend that though, guys. In my opinion, at that point, you should just free that slot up for other things. You know, lean into your other abilities, whether that's grenade kickstart, momentum transfer, considering you're going to be doing damage with your melee. What Claws offers here is the ability to cycle through all your neutral abilities, and since you have double melees and you're creating orbs, you could cycle out those other mods and then take advantage of your orb mods, things like Absolution, Innervation, or even Invigoration, and just feed right back into that melee energy. Lots of things you can do here. Now, Mantle of Battle Harmony. Weapon bonus damage change to tier 4 when super is fully charged, increasing damage bonus in PvE from 20% to 25%, and reduce the damage bonus from 15% to 6% in PvP. Now, this no longer stacks with Surge Leg armor mods, but it provides a larger bonus than can be achieved with 3 such mods equipped. Now, the damage bonus only applies to weapons that match your subclass damage type, and now stacks with Empowering Rift and other similar damage bonuses. Now, extended base duration of this bonus from 6 seconds to 10 seconds in PvE, and from 3 seconds to 5 seconds inside of PvP. Now, let's talk about Mantle of Battle Harmony real quick. It comes with the perk Absorption Cells. Takedowns with weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass elements grant you super energy. And while your super energy is full, you instead gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage of the type matching your subclass elements. Now, again, that was a 20% buff inside of PvE and a 15% buff inside of PvP. So this is definitely a nerf inside of PvP, but it's a buff inside of PvE, and you're getting a duration bump here, guys. It's also going to be able to stack with Empowering Rift as well as other empowering buffs, but again, it will not stack with Surge, which seems to be like the theme in all of these exotic changes. Now, Ophidian Aspect. Oh my, is it finally happening? Removed the extended melee range. Look, I know I got a lot of warlocks right now that are going to be upset about this, but let's be real. That melee range was stupid. On top of that, it gave too many other benefits. Now, dev commentary here. The extended melee range created some strange situations where players' melee lunge would cause them to flicker in high latency scenarios. This exotic still retains many strong neutral game benefits. That's right, guys. Ophidians is still going to be good. You just won't have that free melee. You know, you're still going to be able to run out there and have pretty much max handling and reload speed. You also have increased airborne effectiveness. There's a lot of great benefits that Ophidians already offers. But that melee range was such an issue with that palm melee. And until Bungie has better servers, really, I think melee boosting exotics and abilities should just be toned down completely. Now, Promethium Spur. I know some of you probably never even heard of this exotic. It grants rift energy for any solar weapon takedown, with more energy granted for solar weapon takedowns while standing in a rift. Also, you now have to be standing in a rift when you get a final blow for the exotic to consume your class ability energy and create a rift at the target's location. Wow. All right, for those that need a recap on Promethium Spur, defeating combatants or guardians while Daybreak is active created healing and empowering rifts at their location, and while standing in any rift, solar weapon final blows would grant you rift energy. And when your rift energy was full, final blows would consume your rift energy and create a healing and empowering rift at the target's location. I don't think anyone was ever that crazy about this exotic. Now it's just going to grant you rift energy for any solar weapon takedown, and just grant you more energy while standing in a rift getting a solar weapon takedown. Overall, I don't think I'm really going to be going out of my way to be using this exotic even still with these changes, but it is going to have more ease of use. Now, Starfire Protocol. Oh, the big one. Reduce the amount of energy gained per instance of damage from 20% to 2.5%. Empowered weapon kills now grant 20% grenade energy. Mother of God. Now, the dev commentary. Oh, Starfire Protocol. This exotic has been strong for a long time. Ever since Solar 3.0 dropped and fusion grenades became much more powerful for warlocks. In making these changes, we didn't want to completely rob the exotic of its benefits. But right now, Starfire Protocol is one of the best single target damage boosting exotics, combined with the likes of Witherhorde or Wolfpack rounds with a rocket launcher with Demolitionist, and you essentially get an infinite loop of rockets and double detonating grenades, and it's sucking all of the air out of the room. These changes are intended to tamp down on passive weapon damage, giving you your grenades back too quickly. You still probably get an extra grenade or two per damage phase, while also pushing it away from a single target damage dominance and more toward neutral play, which pretty much is what its original purpose was. This is a big nerf. The energy gain going from 20% 2.5% to 2.5%, killer. And if power weapon kills, now only granted 20% grenade energy, killer. Rest in peace, Star Class. No lie, you've had a year though, guys. I mean, let's just be real. The fact that it has survived this long for the past year is kind of amazing. Now, as with any changes we make, we're going to be watching the data and your feedback carefully and making additional tuning changes accordingly. We're already working on the next round of exotic armor tuning for future seasons. So keep in mind, guys, these are just the armor pieces. And I'm actually hopeful that tomorrow's TWAB is going to be talking about the weapons. Either way it goes, let me know in the comments below what you think. Lots of great changes overall across the board. I'm loving everything that I saw here. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.